Hi everyone, my name is Marissa and welcome to my channel, The Budgeting Wife, where I teach you how to make smart financial decisions. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how much you should be saving in an emergency fund. But before we get into it, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you can be sure to stay notified when I post new videos. So the emergency fund, this is such an important money topic and something that everyone needs to have. Whether you are working on paying off your debt or you are debt free, you have a house, you live in an apartment, all different kinds of circumstances boils down to one thing: you need an emergency fund. But that can be a varying amount depending on where you are in your stage of life. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you kind of how much you should have in your emergency fund depending on your circumstances. So first, if you are working on paying off debt, I would recommend having between $1,000 and $3,000 in your emergency fund. Now, if you are a Dave Ramsey follower, you know that he says to have no more than $1,000 in your emergency fund, which is great advice, but I'll say that for those of you who are living in more expensive places, I myself live in the Pacific Northwest, which isn't cheap, $1,000 won't get you very far. And the point of that emergency fund while you're paying off debt isn't to necessarily have so much security. It's supposed to just really get you fired up about paying off that debt, because you're not comfortable if you only have $1,000 in the bank. So you want to pay off that debt as soon as possible so that you can beef up that savings account. When we were on our debt-free journey, we kept $3,000 in the bank because we felt that that was a great amount to keep. It wasn't too much, but it was enough to cover a month's worth of rent. We also drove older cars, so we knew that they might have some issues. So we decided on keeping $3,000 and then putting every extra dime we could to our loans. But you can go ahead and decide what's going to be comfortable for you, but also keep you motivated to pay off that debt. Now, if you are debt-free, I would recommend keeping around 3 to 9 months of expenses in that emergency fund. And this is going to vary depending on your circumstances. You can stay closer to 3 months if you are maybe living in an apartment, if you are married and both you and your spouse have steady jobs, and it's just the two of you. That would be a great reason to keep only 3 months of expenses in the bank. But if you are self-employed or you have an irregular income, so your income is fluctuating every month, and you are a homeowner, especially for an older house where, things might go out, you might need a new water heater or replace the roof or other expenses, or maybe if you even have children, you might want to consider bumping that closer to 9 months of expenses in the bank. And so what do I mean by 3 to 9 months of expenses? These are expenses that are completely necessities for your budget. So think of it as if you got laid off right now, what would be like the bare bones, scorched earth budget that you would have? How much would you be spending each month? So things that I would put into that would be our rent, our utilities, food, but not eating out. We'd have to have some sort of gas. We would have to have car insurance, basic internet, electricity, all of those sorts of things we're going to lump into those necessities. But things like, eating out or that fun shopping budget, that clothing budget, all of those things would get cut. So take a look at your budget and see how much you're spending every month on those bare necessity expenses, and then multiply that by how many months you think that you'd want to save in your emergency fund. For us, we are saving about 5 months of expenses into our emergency fund, but our circumstances right now are that we are living in an apartment and my husband and I both work and we do have steady jobs. So we could go more of that 3-month route, but I did feel a little bit better doing 5 months, having it be a more solid amount of $10,000 in our emergency savings. But the exciting news of that is that we will be done this month in May. We are so excited to be done with our emergency fund and start working on accomplishing our additional financial goals. But for right now, if you don't have an emergency savings account, or if you're working on building one up, I would definitely take a look at your budget and see how much you're spending on those necessities and determine 3 to 9 months of expenses, what you feel comfortable with. That is if you're debt free. And if you're working on paying off that debt, go ahead and keep a little bit of money in the bank, because there's probably still going to be an emergency when you're paying off debt. But keep that intensity to pay off your debt as soon as possible so you can beef up your savings right afterward. So with that, I'll go ahead and end the video here. And let me know in the comments below of how much do you plan to keep in your emergency savings account. I love hearing what you guys have to say on that and just being able to have some community and discussion around that. So don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more personal finance videos. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.